Being kind is a virtue, but when it's in excess, you can find yourself in situations where someone is taking advantage of you or even manipulating you. Have you ever felt that your kindness has become your weakness? If so, this video is especial for you. We will delve into this topic and provide 7 key solutions to balance your kindness with self-care. But before we begin the video, I ask that you subscribe to our channel, Powerful Quotes, and leave a like. Also feel free to comment on something that's bothering you at the moment. Self-awareness, understanding who you really are and what your limits are, is a revolutionary step in avoiding being used because of your kindness. This kindness is a magnificent virtue, a quality that makes the world a more inhabitable and loving place. However, like any virtue, it can become a path that others use to manipulate or take advantage of you. This is where self-awareness comes into play. It acts as your superpower. By becoming self-aware, you recognize your worth and understand that your kindness should not translate to weakness or an invitation for abuse or exploitation. You become a ship with a compass, knowing where you're heading and when to say no. You understand that you don't need to be a lighthouse for every lost ship at sea. First, you must light your own path. If you don't know yourself, you're letting the winds of circumstances and the opinions of others guide you. Without a sense of direction, you can end up where you don't want to be, doing things that don't resonate with your true self just because someone else decided it's the best route for you. Regular self-assessment allows you to be aware of your emotions, thoughts, and actions, knowing what makes you happy, what makes you angry, what makes you feel used or abused is critical data that helps you navigate your path with clarity and determination. It's crucial to also listen to what your body and mind are telling you. Often we ignore the physical and emotional signals that tell us when something is wrong. If you feel drained in certain situations or around certain people, that's a sign that your body and mind are trying to tell you something, and you need to listen. Furthermore, seeking external feedback through honest conversations with people who know you well can clarify areas where you may not see clearly. There's also value in spending time alone, perhaps in meditation or even spiritual retreats. These moments of solitude and reflection allow you to delve into the deeper layers of your being, to understand who you are and what you truly desire. Lastly, but not least, professional guidance from therapists or life coaches can offer valuable external perspectives and effective techniques to enhance your self-awareness. By being aware of who you are, you protect yourself against attempts by others to use your kindness for their benefit at your expense. You become stronger, more determined, and paradoxically kinder, because kindness, born of strength and self-awareness, is truly genuine. Set boundaries now that you've increased your self-awareness. The second crucial pillar to avoid being exploited due to your kindness is to establish clear and solid boundaries. A boundary is not a barrier that isolates you from the world. It's more like a horizon that clearly defines where your personal space ends and where others begins. Understanding the importance of personal boundaries is like lighting a lighthouse in a dark and stormy sea. Suddenly you can see clearly where you should go and what you should avoid. Boundaries help you navigate between external demands and your own needs, ensuring that you maintain your integrity and prevent others from pulling you in directions that don't benefit you. Many of us were raised to think that saying no is somehow rude or selfish, but in reality, learning to say no when necessary is the ultimate act of Self-care by doing so you're clearly communicating that you value your time, emotional resources, and overall well-being. Moreover, by setting clear boundaries you give others permission to do the same, which ultimately improves all your relationships. Practicing boundaries may face some resistance, especially from those who are accustomed to you always saying yes. This is where your strength and self-awareness truly shines, allowing you to stand firm in your decisions without feeling guilty. Recognize that by honoring your own boundaries you're showing the utmost respect, not just for yourself, but also for the people in your life. It's important to know that setting boundaries is an ongoing process. It's not something you do once and forget about it. You must regularly review and adjust your boundaries based on new experiences and self-discovery. The boundaries you set in your youth may not serve you as an adult, or even the ones that worked last year might not be appropriate this year, and that's okay, because as a human you're in a constant state of evolution. So don't be afraid. Setting boundaries doesn't make you less kind or generous. On the contrary, it allows you to love and give in a more authentic and sustainable way. Accept imperfection. Yes, you heard that right. This may seem like a contradiction. You might wonder, isn't my excessive kindness the problem? Shouldn't I strive for perfection to avoid being exploited? Here's the secret: the relentless pursuit of perfection is a trap. It makes you more vulnerable to being used because you never feel good enough, and thus you get caught in a cycle of giving more and more to prove yourself in life. Perfection is an illusion, a mirage that always dances just out of reach. The harsh truth is that sometimes kindness can be misinterpreted, used, or completely ignored. No matter how hard you try, not everything is under your control. Not every flaw is yours to fix, and not every burden is yours to carry. It's essential to understand that your worth doesn't diminish due to someone's inability to see it. You don't need to be perfect to be respected. You have the right to make mistakes, to put your needs first, to say no, and to not be everything to everyone and still be entirely worthy of love and respect. Accepting imperfection not only frees you but also frees others to be themselves. By doing so, you open the door to more authentic relationships, real connections, and a kind of kindness that nourishes both the giver and the receiver. In fact, embracing imperfection gives you the power to live in the present, to act based on your principles rather than your fears, to be kindly firm instead of just nice. Accept that not everyone will understand or appreciate your kindness, but that doesn't mean you should stop being who you are. On the contrary, it means you should be even more of who you are, but with wisdom and courage, in a way that honors your own boundaries and needs. Healthy boundaries culture. Think of your boundaries as the walls of a garden. You've lovingly cultivated this garden, represents your emotional life, your aspirations, your overall well-being. It's a space of serenity, peace, and growth. If the walls are too low or non-existent, anyone or anything toxic can enter and ruin what you've built. That's where the importance of establishing a healthy boundaries culture comes in. Boundaries aren't barriers that isolate you from the world, they're limits that allow you to interact with it in a more meaningful and healthy way. They express what you're willing to tolerate and what you find unacceptable. Establishing boundaries is an act of self-love. By defining these boundaries, you create a space where your kindness can flourish without being exploited. Knowing where your line in the sand is frees your emotional and mental energy to interact more meaningfully with those who truly value your space and time. It's not about cutting off all relationships that don't offer something in return instead it's about being aware of the balance in your relationships. You can be kind to everyone but intimate only with those who genuinely respect your kindness and reciprocate it in some way. Cultivating a culture of healthy boundaries allows you to interact more meaningfully with those who share your values and desires for authenticity and generosity. It doesn't mean cutting off all relationships that don't immediately reciprocate. It means being aware of the balance in your relationships. You can be kind to everyone but truly intimate only with those who genuinely respect your kindness and reciprocate it in some way. Don't be afraid to take control of your garden, to plant flowers instead of thorns, and let these walls provide the freedom to fully enjoy your life in an environment of mutual respect and genuine emotional exchange. Empowered authenticity. This concept goes beyond being a mere buzzword. It's a life philosophy that transforms your kindness into an unstoppable force instead of an exploitable weakness. Living with empowered authenticity means being completely in tune with your true self, without the masks we often wear to please others or conform to societal expectations. This conformity mask is what often allows others to take advantage of your kindness. When you act authentically, you become less susceptible to manipulation and exploitation. Your kindness becomes an extension of your true self, not a mechanism for gaining approval or avoiding conflict. Being authentic empowers you to make clear requests, set boundaries, and follow your own path with determination and courage. You won't be distracted by the desire to fit in or the fear of rejection. You won't see yourself through the distorted mirror of others' expectations. Instead, you'll be the architect of your own life, building a future that reflects your values, aspirations, and of course your intrinsic kindness. It's as if your kindness becomes a brilliant beacon, attracting people and opportunities that resonate with your authentic self. People who may have been drawn to your vulnerability in the past will now be repelled by your strength, certainty, and personal power. Don't underestimate the power of empowered authenticity. It's the foundation that transforms your kindness from an easy target into a force to be reckoned with. I invite you to live your life with courageous authenticity, to assert your power and allow your kindness to manifest in its highest and most powerful form. This is the path to a life of meaning, purpose, and mutual respect. Conscious reciprocity. We live in an interconnected world where our actions have an impact, whether large or small, on the lives of others. Kindness is not a one-way street. It's an energetic exchange between you, the universe, and the people around you. Conscious reciprocity means recognizing and fostering relationships and situations where kindness, respect, and support flow in both directions. It's not just about being kind, it's about being open to receiving kindness. Receiving is also an act of love, and it allows others to experience the gift of giving. This concept may seem simple, but it has a profoundly transformative impact. By applying conscious reciprocity in your life, you create a virtuous circle of positive energy. When you realize that you have the power to choose with whom and how you interact, you start attracting more people who share your values and desires for authenticity and generosity. This doesn't mean you should cut off all relationships that don't offer something in return. Instead, it means being aware of the balance in your relationships. You can be kind to everyone but intimate only with those who genuinely respect your kindness and reciprocate it in some way conscious reciprocity is like a lighthouse that guides the right people to you and repels those who only seek to take advantage of your kindness. By implementing this powerful practice in your life, you not only avoid being used, but also enrich your life with more meaningful and satisfying relationships. Remember that kindness is you. This simple act can change the way you see yourself and your place in the world, allowing you to be kind without being exploited. In conclusion, we've completed our journey today by exploring 7 key points to protect yourself from being manipulated due to excessive kindness. But I want you to remember something very important. Being kind is not a weakness, it's one of the greatest human strengths. Your ability to show love, understanding, and compassion is a gift both to yourself and the world around you. You don't need to stop being kind, you simply need to learn to be kind in a way that also respects and honors your genuine kindness. Empowered kindness not only enhances the lives of others, but also your own. When you apply the principles we've discussed today, you're not just defending yourself from people who may want to take advantage of you, you're also attracting more meaningful and fulfilling relationships into your life. If you felt inspired, motivated, or simply more aware after this video, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Powerful quotes.